Now, let's examine the shadow in detail. Here, the inner child is not free. It has become cloaked. The cloak is represented by the wavy line which covers the inner child, the heart, like a blanket, a cloak. The inner child has unresolved issues, which we are all familiar with, as we all have unresolved issues from childhood onwards. The filter of distortion is the cloak that belongs to the shadow's mind, and this cloak interferes with all the circumstances that the unresolved inner child, the unresolved heart, comes across. It traps the inner child, the heart. This filter causes the impediment of circumstances, feelings of failure and insufficiency, and experiences of so-called failure. This filter literally cloaks the inner child's awareness. It further provides the false idea that you are unaware of what or who you really are, and you are unable to deal with your life's circumstances in whole or in part. This in turn generates the inability to be buoyant and open and free, and the inability to see beyond your five senses. This also creates an uncomfortable undercurrent and existential angst somewhere at the back of your mind. Things just don't feel right somehow. This is represented by the bottom line. This undercurrent is the unresolved feelings of the adult, and it pulls the inner child farther and farther down like a weight as the adult grows older while harboring unresolved feelings from childhood. These are referred to as foreign substances, which, in actual fact, they are. The adult needs to find conclusions of those old traumas, heal the childhood wounds by finding their truths. Meanwhile, unless resolved, these unresolved feelings distort perception in dangerous ways. This line also holds the inner child's corrupted innocence, which adds to the difficulty in finding truth and resolution. Looking at the wavy line again, you also notice that it represents impeded circumstances. We now know that the heart center is what creates our reality by projecting a vision outwardly from within our consciousness through our minds. The mind projects the vision, but it is the heart that is a true creative power. It is said that as a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he become. Now, this cloak also creates impeded circumstances. In other words, it impedes manifesting and solutions to life, all of which further suppress the inner child. In all this confusion, the inner child develops immature preoccupations and immature desires, which, in the adult, work as insatiable and wholesome desires of bottomless consumption and so on, and self-serving preoccupation.